It's nice to meet you. How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
So the two of you, where's Rory? Someone's missing. What's happening?
One of us had to stay back and hold down the fort. He's shooting extra gear, so he couldn't make it. He sends his regards.
OK.
Yes.
So he's the one that works hardest of the three of you.
Yeah, he does the heavy lifting. We're more sort of jazz hands.
Get it, OK. Well, yeah.
We know where the STIG is.
We do.
I don't know if you've seen a little bit later on, but not just at the moment. Just keeping a close eye on things.
Yeah.
So we see you driving these top-end, lavish, really exciting cars, but in real life, during the day, when you're off, what do you drive, Matt?
Me?
On your ranch? Because we've spoken about that before.
On the ranch, I'm usually driving some kind of tractor or something.
Yeah.
But, you know, we're kindred spirits.
Of course we are.
I know.
Of course we are.
But in real life, you know, I got a Mercedes SUV that I drive around in.
Nice.
Or a Porsche. Or a...
Oh, OK. So you've got options.
This could go on for some time.
Yeah,
There's a lot of choice.
What about you, Chris?
I have a Mercedes coupe with a big engine that's very comfortable and gets me around feeling like I haven't driven, which is what I like.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And there's nothing better,
hold on,
is
hold
there?
on.
than-
This is a
hang
guy
on,
that is
what?
downplaying his car collection. He's
on.
got
Go on.
one of everything.
I have a slight issue with buying cars, in as much as I can't stop.
Buying cars.
I've got a shed full of rubbish, that depreciates rapidly, so I've got
Yeah.
plenty of choice. Not much of it's very exotic, but I like my old French cars.
OK, yeah, oh, yeah.
Yes,
We've seen
yeah.
you in your Citroën
The
2CV, which
yeah.
we love.
Yeah.
Now, the question is, because, you know, cars, when they're new, they've got this lovely smell and everything, but people tend to let them get a bit messy, don't they, after a while? You tend to get, a little, you know, like you, with your...
Well, my old Land Rover, it is a farm vehicle, as we were saying.
Fair enough.
I just took this morning. It's got a bit of sheep feed on there, some jump leads and a lead roll.
Well, that's fine. That's
a working
agricultural working
Yeah,
vehicle.
it's got its working clothes on, as I like to say.
Yeah, I bet there's sandwiches under the seat.
Oh, there's a lot of stuff. To be honest with you, I didn't take a picture of the back, because
No.
it is horrific.
Right. Well, on that note, we would like to hear from you tonight, because as a nation...
Pays for it. Are the car makers going to pay for it? No, they're not. Government? Probably not.
Yeah.
So it looks difficult at that point. But I love the idea of clean
Well,
energy.
that's got to be where it's going, hasn't it, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, it's still a combustion engine, though, isn't it? So there's a byproduct, and the byproduct is water, I believe, right?
Yep.
But, like you said, you can't run down a 7-Eleven and get some hydrogen.
No.
You know, and storing
Not
it.
with
That's
the amount of
like basically a bomb that's in the car that stores the hydrogen. And this is a technology that they've been trying to jumpstart for a while now, hydrogen cars. It's just the infrastructure, storing it at where the place you go to buy it. That's a big tank. So that's a big bomb.
Yeah.
So I think the future, in terms of alternate energy cars, has got to be electric. You know what I mean? It's just battery technology will get there, and I think maybe solar panels on the roof or...
You've got to make the electricity, though, haven't you? And at the moment, in this country, that's coal-fired.
Yeah, but if you
So
have
you're just pushing the problem somewhere else.
Yeah, but if each car is sort of individually sufficient, if it's like got solar, the whole body is solar, it can make its own power, charge its own battery, regenerative braking, all that kind of stuff.
You know what you think about our weather over here?
The sun's out. It's just, you know, so it's not quite as pure
This is
as the weather.
thing to come in a series, isn't it? This
I was
is
gonna
literally the
say,
series right
don't
here.
fall out now, because we were just about to ask you about your chemistry. So Sunday night, it sees the second series of the current lineup, let's put it that way.
Yes.
And, you know, there was a lot of fuss at the beginning. Oh, are they going to get on? You know, how are these three going to be in terms of friendship and all the rest? And so we had it, didn't we, when we started, you know, oh, what's the chemistry like? But you don't know each other, do you? But by now, have you sort of settled into more of a groove together? Is the relationship forming? Do you go for beers?
Do you want to hold hands for this next part?
If it would help, it would.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like you said, in the beginning, it was like, are we going to get along? We didn't know either. You have to see if, you know, you want to get along because it's better for the show, ideally. But turns out we all get along really well. We have a lot of laughs. Half the stuff we come up with, you cannot say on television. So therefore, we're getting along great, are we not?
Absolutely. And a show like Top Gear, if you're not enjoying making it, there'll be no joy in the end product, will there?
Exactly.
So we have to have fun making it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's very strange. You know, I, as a child of the 90s, watching him on telly, I didn't think I'd become mates with Joey, but I have. And it's really good. It's good fun.
And this is the thing, because wherever you're going now, when you're off on your travels all over the shop, you are celebrating those countries that you go to, aren't you? So
yeah, we are having a good time, you know, experiencing their culture. And, you know, cars are everywhere.
Yeah.
Or transportation, even. We did a film in Sri Lanka. and we were driving tuk-tuks the whole time, and we had a blast. And they were great, and they're a huge part of the culture there, are they not? I mean, it was really interesting, yeah.
And for you, does it feel like a British show, or does it feel like a global show? Because we know that Top Gear goes all over the world. But from your perspective, I mean, are you making this for a global audience?
Yeah, you know, it depends which part of the show we're working on. When we're making the films, yes, it feels like a global show to me. When we get back into the studio to sort of do the voiceover parts and stuff, and I go back and forth with the producer on, it's aluminium, but that's not how I say it.
How do you say it?
Aluminum.
What?
Aluminum.
Aluminum?
Which is wrong.
But a lot of the humour actually comes from that, doesn't it? The divide between the UK and the US,
Right.
you know, and that's great. It works, you know, brilliantly.
yeah.
Now, one thing you don't disagree on, well, you do disagree on, is Bigfoot, because you take Chris out into the sticks, and you're like, yeah, it's a thing, and you're like, no, it's not a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I first realised there was a problem in this area when I was with him in the summer at his ranch, and I was just sort of meandering towards a barbecue, and I saw a little face sticking out of a plant pot, and it was a little Bigfoot, and there are a few stashed around. So that clearly the Bigfoot thing is an issue.
Yeah. I get a kick out of him.
Yeah, he genuinely believes.
Yeah, so you went out into the spin. So let's just run through. We've got like kind of a quick fire round of things that we're going to hit you with here. So who's the most competitive? I mean, you can include Rory in all of this if you want to. Okay. So who's the most competitive?
Rory.
Probably Rory.
You can't, hang on now, you can't answer Rory to all these.
No, he's definitely the most competitive.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, who's most likely to be caught
Rory.
speeding?
Most likely to be caught speeding?
Yeah, out the two of you. Come on, out the two.
I'm probably most likely to get away with it. He's most likely to get caught.
I can't disagree with that.
Fair point.
Who is the most likely to stall under pressure?
Ooh. Rory.
Oh, yeah, that'd be Rory.
I was going like, yeah.
Okay. Which of you has the best taste in cars?
Well, it's not Rory.
No, it's definitely not Rory.
Poor Rory.
It's we have quite similar taste in cars.
Yeah, Chris and I do.
There's a particular sports car manufacturer near Stuttgart that makes sports cars with engine in the back. We like them a lot. Ultimately, though, I own a 1957 Citroën 2CV, which means I have to trump anyone because that's the greatest car ever made.
Oh, come on, I got a big Ford dually. We could put this 2CV in the back and then we could go for a drive.
Even though you love this car,
I had to meet. One of which is it had to be driven at around 40 miles an hour over a lightly ploughed field with a basket of eggs on the lap of the passenger in the car, so the suspension was soft and supple enough, and that was the test. So we did a film where we go and test. There's 3 or 4 other bizarre claims, some involving livestock and hats and things. And we went and tested these design criteria in the car.
And in all actual parts of the design brief of the car. I mean, actual, like, written in there.
all right.
And that was one of them, although Matt was supposed to have 12 eggs. He had 400.
And tipped them all over you.
And he tipped them all on me.
course
And they
he did.
weren't all well eggs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, the thing about it, though, is that the car handled the bumpy field with the basket of eggs, and none of them were breaking. So I thought, wouldn't it be more fun
This isn't good television.
if I just dumped these in his lap?
Too right.
Yeah.
And
I don't think I've laughed that hard ever in my life on camera. That was
it was
pretty
very,
funny.
very funny. But the poor car,
Yeah.
I mean, it has chassis rails of 2CV, and the egg got in to the rails and just went rank.
Yeah.
So when I took it out the garage about 3 weeks later,
Yeah, grim.
And I know that Stig has actually been round a mate of mine's farm, Adam's farm on Countryfile. He's been trying out a pretty full-on tractor. And you can see all of that on Countryfile on March the 25th. Yeah, there's Stig there, just reminiscing. Good day.
Now,
Good day down on the farm.
with all the miles that you boys do, you probably fancy a little drive-through now and again. But if it's fried chicken that you're